You know, it's a place many Atlantans remember for its music, its culture, and history, but now the underground Atlanta is seeing a dramatic rebirth. Here now is Shaneel Lalani, the CEO of Lalani Ventures. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, talk about the importance of underground Atlanta and what it means for the city to have it be a cultural hub.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to put in words, but this is where the city started, right? We have the 0 mile marker having here on the property. So this is where it all began. And underground has been the center of the hub in Atlanta. And I would say early on, right? We all know in early 2000s, this was the place to be. We're quickly turning that place again for the place to be, right? I mean, I bought this property in 2020, about 5 years ago. It was around 10% occupied at that time, and quickly over the last few years, we worked hard and leased up the places, hosted a lot of events. We're at 80% occupancy right now.
Wow.
We welcomed over 1 million people last year. We're on pace to welcome 2 million people this year.
Congratulations on the growth right there. To 2020, you had a vision. You said 10% occupied. What was your vision back then for where it would be today?
I mean, the vision has always been that we need density here, right? This is a 4 block, 12-acre property here in the middle of the city. You're next to the busiest MARTA station, the transit station, 5 Points. You're right across Georgia State University. You're next to the city halls, all the government buildings, right? So the vision has always been like, how do we put density on this property? We have 12 acres. We have buildable rights to go up to 10 million square feet. So while is so challenging and difficult to make vertical construction work in today's market, we're working on activating the property, right? Going, leasing up, filling up every space that we have available, and then be patient for the market to come back where the interest rate, the construction costs can come down so we can afford to, go vertical and, put apartments here, put condos, office buildings, hotels. We're committed to have some apartments into workforce housing and affordable housing as well. So for us to make those work, we have to really be patient to make sure the interest rate and the construction cost comes down.
Yeah. Shaneel, was nightlife the key here? You got you got a massive nightclub there, MJQ there. You got Revine as well. Was nightlife the key?
So nightlife has always been the key for this property. If you look at 20 years ago, 30 years ago, right, all the clubs and pubs used to be here. So when I bought the property, honestly, that wasn't the vision, but that's what, garnished, or that's what really attracted a lot of attention, where we were getting a lot of calls from club owners and nightlife owners, business owners, where they wanted to have their place over here. And as a businessman, right, I have to really look at like what's really gonna work for us, right, while we're actively or while we're patiently waiting for the vertical development to happen. We had to fill up these spaces, and I think it worked out perfectly.
Yeah, yeah. What has been the challenges for you putting all that right there in downtown? You talk about housing, you talk about the stores, obviously, and nightlife. What has been some of the challenges for you?
I mean, there's numbers challenges just like any other development, but downtown has a lot more, right? I mean, historically, people have invested their dollars, developers have invested dollars into Midtown and Buckhead, and downtown has really been neglected, right? So I think this time around, that's not the story anymore, right? You have Centennial Yards here, you have a couple of other developers that are really laser focused um, on this part of downtown, where I think all those challenges that we were seeing many years ago are gonna be different this time around.
All right, so we got World Cup coming in 2026. What do you guys have coming as well? What's the future like for that area?
Yeah, we're actively working with all the stakeholders here to plan for World Cup, but even beyond that, right? We're using the World Cup as I would say, like a milestone, but also it's not just finishes there, right? It marches on and it continues. But we're going to be hosting a lot of pre-parties, watch parties, after parties. We're literally 2 blocks away from the games, right? We actually hosted a Club World Cup watch party just last week, where we had a lot of people show up. So that was just like we're trying things out and preparing ahead We have a lot more tenant announcements that we're going to be making over the next few months, but we're going to be close to full occupancy here by the World Cup.
All right. Shaneel Lalani, thanks so much for joining us, and thanks for all the work you're doing down there to bounce Atlanta back, the underground in particular.
Thank you.
All right, thanks so much.